The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
If these people lose their jobs, they got nowhere to go. My father has worked there for 24 years. I gave him my word.
Greed is right. Greed works.
Hey, buddy, you're still gonna be president, all right? And when the time comes, you're gonna parachute out a rich man. With the money you're gonna make, your dad's never gonna have to work another day in his life.
Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit.
When does it all end, huh? How many yachts can you water ski behind? How much is enough?
It's not a question of enough, pal.
Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge, has marked the upward surge of mankind, and greed,
It's a zero-sum game. Somebody wins, somebody loses.
greed is good, is good, is good.
So have you seen the movie Wall Street? I'm guessing most of my audience probably has. It's a classic. I'll always watch it every time it comes on. However, I can't say I agree with Gordon Gekko that greed is good. Maybe if I get some money someday I will, but I do agree with him that life is a zero-sum game. Somebody wins and somebody always loses. And that will never change. So I thought that movie was an apropos analogy to begin our Boeing millionaire story today. However, first, I'm going to tell you something that happened to me, which is also apropos. But hey, if you just want to get to the story of the disgusting Boeing's executive salaries and payouts, the timestamps are down below, and I'll probably even place it down here in the screen, because you're going to miss a good story. Way back in the late 1990s, I was working for a large tech firm that will remain nameless for various legal reasons. But the company was one of the original tech firms that invented the very technology you are watching me on right now on your phone. That, of course, is the invention of cell phone video and video streaming. You know, it's funny, too, because at the time, I remember squinting at a few blurry pixels on a little flip phone screen. And I thought, yeah, this is never going to be a thing. Boy, was I wrong. Anyway, so my company was getting ready to go public in the heyday of the dot-com tech boom. So to celebrate that event, they paid for the entire company to spend a week at the Ritz-Carlton in Laguna Niguel, California. And if you know the Ritz-Carlton, this place is 5 stars. Absolute opulence. And the company paid for everything. Open bar, food, rooms, golf packages, massages, caviar, cigars, the whole thing. But the reason for the event was a celebration of the fact that all the employees were going to be issued our pre-IPO stock options at this lavish party, because the company was headed to the New York Stock Exchange the following week to announce its initial public offering. And just like that, instantly, I was a wealthy man. Well, I guess kind of like Gordon Gekko in Wall Street. It was like winning the lottery along with everybody else in the company. So imagine how you'd feel. Yeah, I felt like that. But guess what happened just 4 days later? The company pulled their IPO and was purchased by one of the largest Japanese phone companies in the world at the time. So my company never went public. And just like that, suddenly, I was broke again. Oh, and I was out of a job too. I felt more like the Geico Gecko than Gordon Gekko, but come to think of it, that little lizard's doing pretty good for himself. But crushing doesn't even begin to describe the feeling. However, at the same time, all the senior management of the company, well, they received stock and cash from the merging company, and suddenly they were even wealthier than they already were before. But I'm guessing many of you too also share similar stories. And also at one time or another, I'm sure all of us have been victims of that horrific cardboard walk of shame. And for me personally, over the years to follow, there would be more cardboard walks of shame from other giant dot-com companies that failed. And now, well, here I am, on the very thing that you're watching me on right now. A thing that I had a hand in crafting, until I was Boeinged. Or laid off, that is. Okay, so that brings us to our Boeing story. Well, as we all know, last year in 2024, Boeing had one of its worst years ever. And to refresh our memory, let's take a quick chronological recap look back. January 5, 2024, an Alaska Airlines brand new Boeing MAX suffered a catastrophic door plug blowout, prompting the FAA to ground 171 MAX 9s, which revealed that the bolts securing the panel, well, they weren't there. They were missing. Well, that led to increased scrutiny of Boeing's manufacturing process. March 2024. Following the Alaska blowout, Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun and board chairman Larry Kellner stepped down amid ongoing safety concerns and production challenges. September 13, 2024. Over 33,000 Boeing machinists went on strike. The work stoppage lasted a couple of months, ending on November 4, following an agreement that included a 38% wage increase over 4 years. June 30, 2024, Boeing reacquired Spirit Aerosystems for $4.7 billion. Now here's where it starts to get interesting, because it was in the summer of 2024 that Boeing reported a $12 billion loss. As a result, the company also announced plans to cut approximately 17,000 jobs, about 10% of its global workforce, to align with its financial reality. So you can see where I'm going with this. Then around the same time as the strike, in response to internal feedback, Boeing's leadership emphasized the need to address its woeful corporate culture. The new CEO, Kelly Ortberg, highlighted plans to foster open communication and open collaboration across divisions to enhance employee morale and operational efficiency. And finally, later in 2024, the FAA expanded its oversight of Boeing's manufacturing process following the Alaska incident, initiating a production audit of the MAX 9. This action underscored the need for stringent quality control measures within the company. And that was just scratching the surface of Boeing's miserable year of 2024. I didn't even mention the lawsuits or the ongoing legal battle with the Justice Department over the original 2 MAX crashes back in 2018 and 2019. Okay, so earlier this year, January 2025, Boeing released its 2024 fourth quarter earnings and loss report. And well, it was mostly a loss report. But like I said, Boeing endured a truly awful year in 2024. And even its millionaire executives, including those who exited as the company's troubles mounted, largely saw their compensation cut in half from the previous year. And at first blush, hearing that, you may think, well, man, that must have been a lot of money. Well, I guess that all depends on what your definition of a lot is, because they raked in millions, despite taking the golden cardboard box walk of shame. However, according to Boeing's annual proxy statement, on their way out, they were paid both in cash and stock awards that will be paid out for years to come. So with both the commercial airplanes and the defense and space divisions writing off billions of dollars in losses and a 2-month-long machinist strike adding to the financial drain in 2024, Boeing burned through $14.3 billion in cash and reported a loss for the year of $11.8 billion, just a shade better than its worst year ever in 2020. However, according to the filing, it shows that former CEO Dave Calhoun, who retired in August, got $11.3 million salary in 2024, including $10 million from stock awarded in previous years that vested that year. So Calhoun's total compensation awarded in 2024, including new stock with grants and a projected future value of $13.2 million, came to a whopping $15 million, which was down from $32.8 million in 2023. But hey, that's way more cash than they deserve for crashing their company into the Mount Everest of failures. But wait, there's more, because Boeing also detailed millions of dollars paid to former commercial airplane CEO Stan Deal, who was ousted in March of 2024, as well as defense and space CEO Ted Colbert, who was fired in September. But as for new rockstar Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg, who started in August of 24, and was tasked with the tough job of turning the alien plane maker around, he received a total compensation of $18.4 million for the year 2024. The key elements of Ortberg's compensation were $1.8 million in pay last year, plus stock awards that will vest over 4 years, with a projected value of $16 million. Wow, poor guy. That's practically minimum wage. Additionally, Ortberg's compensation package includes perks such as the use of the company aircraft, pension contributions, and more than $300,000 in expenses just for his relocation to Seattle. So with the average American annual salary at about $54,000 a year, he got almost 6 times that simply just for moving expenses. Well, he must have a lot of stuff. But here's the real kicker. Annualizing the base salary portion of Ortberg's pay is equivalent to a yearly compensation of $19.5 million, or over 183 times the $106,000 median salary of the average Boeing employee. Yeah, so there's that. The report also states that executives in the poorly performing commercial, airplanes, and defense and space divisions, like most other employees in those divisions, received no 2024 annual bonus. However, the executives in the Global Services Division, the sole unit that actually did make a profit, received an annual bonus of 50% of their annual salary. Yeah, that was just a bonus on top of their salary. And that's damn fine work if you can get it. The new long-term incentive stock awards package Boeing granted to executives in 2024 were given in half stock that will vest in stages over 3 years, and half in stock options with an elevated exercise price of $200 per share that will expire after 10 years. And so rounding out the compensation for the other top Boeing executives in the C-suite in 2024, we'll start with Stephanie Pope. Stephanie Pope, who in 2024 was CEO of Commercial Airplanes as well as Boeing's Chief Operation Officer, got $2.4 million in salary last year, including a $1.1 million stock offer from earlier years vested in 2024 and an annual bonus for her COO role of $87,000. She was also granted stock awards with projected future value of $7.8 million. Pope was the one executive whose pay actually rose last year. Her total compensation awarded in 2024 was $10 million, up from $9.7 million in 2023. Chief Financial Officer Brian West got $3.6 million last year, including $2.4 million in stock from earlier years that vested in 2024, and an annual bonus of $209,000. He was granted stock awards with a projected future value of $4.7 million. His total compensation awarded in 2024 was $6.2 million, down from $11.9 million in 2023. Brett Jerry, Boeing's chief counsel, got $2.6 million in pay and a bonus last year, including $1.5 million in stock from earlier years that vested in 2024. He was granted stock awards with a projected future value of $3.1 million. His total compensation in 2024 was $4.4 million, down from $8.6 million in 2023. Chris Raymond, CEO of Boeing Global Services, got $1.8 million in pay last year, including a $719,000 bonus in stock from earlier years vested in 2024 and a bonus of $392,000. He was also granted stock awards with a projected future value of $12 million. His total compensation in 2024 was $3.8 million. And former Commercial Airplanes CEO Stan Deal, who was ousted when the Alaska Airlines jet blowout occurred, he got $7.2 million in 2024 from his salary, plus $6.3 million in accelerated vesting of his stocks from earlier years. His total compensation award in 2024, including another $4 million in stock, was $6.1 million. And finally, former Defense and Space CEO Ted Colbert, who was fired for failing to rein in repeated multi-billion-dollar cost overruns, got $5.6 million in 2024, including $4.6 million in accelerated vesting of stock awards from earlier years. His total compensation awarded in 2024, including another $3.9 million in stock, was $5.2 million. So now that we yet again understand how the world of big corporation is divided into the haves and have-nots, it's important to remember how all of last year Boeing's top brass were telling the 17,000 employees who lost their jobs that cost-cutting was necessary to save the company. And the Boeing executives said it pained them to do so, and they felt bad for the average Boeing worker. But these cuts were necessary to make sure Boeing succeeds in the future. And yes, I understand that the world of big business, hell, especially our government, they're all run pretty much like the same way, a big organized crime family. But in this specific case, it was Boeing who was crying broke all last year, and it was Boeing who was firing thousands of frontline workers and running from bank to bank, raising, quote, cash to save the company. So if Boeing's corporate leaders are really so worried about the survival of the company, then why don't they part with their enormous salaries and free some of that cash to help keep more employees working and building aircraft and keeping aircraft safe for the flying public? It seems to me that if they really cared about saving Boeing at any cost, the executives would also sacrifice their wealth for the rest of the company, because there sure seems to be enough money to go around to keep the Sweet Sea executives fat and happy, but not for the 17,000 workers. But sadly, it has always been this way, and change doesn't seem to be on the horizon anytime soon. So after that major financial data dump, what do you think? Will it ever change? Or are you like me and think, nah, it's probably just going to get worse? Well, I want to know what you think. Also, let me know if any of you experienced any similar job layoffs or cardboard walks of shame in your past. I'd like to hear about those. So let me know down below. And if you think we deserved it, I'd love it if you subscribed, gave us a like, and share. And until next time, as always, yeah, this is Maximus.